Salutations to my viewers of my channel, Random Andrew here. Promised you guys some reviews and an introduction into, from my standpoint, into the world of vaping, vaporizing, e-smoking. Probably a lot more names out there than that for it, but yes, I like to stick to something simple, vaporizing, because that's what you're doing. You're not smoking anymore. It's not even technically an electronic smoke. It's a vapor caused by means of an electronic wattage or current passed through a coil. The easiest way to explain it to you is what you're doing with vaporizing is you've got a battery unit. This one here is called the MVP, and I'll get into that a little more in a second, but it provides a high amperage current. This one here is at 11 watts, its maximum setting, and it passes it up through a coil. It's a tiny little coil made of the most common being canthal, but now the world is opening up into nickel and titanium coils as well. I've seen an X number of materials used to make coils on Juice Junkies, which is a Facebook page, Juice Junkies. A really good one too, very helpful, very insightful. A couple a-holes on there, but they don't mean any harm. That's just how they is. So you're passing that current through this coil and it'll heat up red hot, and usually below a temperature that most things, they get to a certain point, they can start to seep out impurities. It's not the word I'm looking for here, but they'll leach off certain chemical or things that aren't good for your lungs. So this is why we've got manufacturers who know what they're doing in the power delivery method behind that. Now, you're not just heating a coil and sucking in hot air. The coil has organic cotton wicked through it and down sitting into where the juices sit. The e-juices are propylene glycol vegetable glycerin mixture. I'm finding I like about 70% vegetable glycerin, 30% propylene glycol, then your flavoring. And you've also got the nicotine in it too, but I'll get into that in a minute. I don't want to go all ADHD on you here. I do that. You know that. That's what makes me random. So as that coil heats, it starts to heat up the juices that are soaked into the cotton, and that in turn, when they heat a certain temperature, they vaporize, just like water evaporating. Well, evaporating being that vapor is channeled up through the mouthpiece for you to be able to inhale them. Now the beauty of it is, and I've done tests, and I'll try and repeat it and videotape it for you, just to see how long it takes for the vapor to actually dissipate and stick onto the walls like a residue of a container. And I used a glass vase to do this, and you would have to hold your breath long enough, you'd be passed out cold before that vapor should be able to recondense inside your lungs. It's not weed, you don't hold it in. I see some people treating it like it's a friggin' bong or something and just you hold it in. Some people treat it like a respirator and they just continually chain vape. Myself, I'm at it quite a bit. I'm fighting the urge of cigarettes, so I'm actually doing this to quit smoking, just not to join a trend or anything. And let me tell you, I went into this thinking that I wasn't going to be of any help to me, that I wasn't going to get anywhere with it, and it's already proven to me it's worth. It is definitely worth switching over. Now, let's get into this a little bit here. This is the MVP by Inokin. I kind of like the name. It reminds me of that old Street Fighter sound effect. Inokin. It's the I Taste MVP. It's low setting, lowest wattage setting. 6 watts. Changes by 0.5 increments. Oops. My bad. Hang on. By 0.5 increments. I don't know why you can see that or not. All the way up to 11 volts. It also has a power straight volt mode up to 5 volts. It'll give you your puff counter, it'll give you your atomizer resistance, and your remaining battery life. It can also be used as an external battery charger. So if your cell phone's dying, you're out camping in the bush and you've got it on you, you can boost your cell phone battery with it. It's a pretty handy little thing, and it's got an on-off switch for the external source as well. Straight USB charge. The only thing I don't like about this is the charge port's on the bottom. So you want to charge it, you can't stand it up. You have to make some kind of little stand so that the charge cable doesn't interfere. I always keep my atomizers upright so the juice is sitting in the coils properly. My cat's gonna say hi. Anyhow, if it's sitting on its side, your juice might not be sitting in the cotton, and if you want to grab it, you might end up getting what's called a dry hit, and that's where there's not enough juice in the cotton when it heats up, and potentially burning the cotton. And we all know what happens there. There's like a formaldehyde or something similar to the burn off of cotton. So you've always got to make sure that you never let your cotton go dry. You never let your wick go dry. This is my most recent purchase, and this was the one that made me swear off smoking. This is the evic-vt, variable temperature. I love this thing. 3 clicks and it's on. It's already on. And because I don't have anything up top, it said no atomizer found when I first pushed the button. Right now I've got it set to 42 watts, 3.12 volts. I'll just bring it right up so you can see her up close. Very easy to use. 3 clicks and you can change your setting. The jog wheel up top, I guess to you guys that would be to the left, changes what you've selected. And for your battery display, you can you got a puff counter, you got a time counter, and then if you click it to the right, yeah, that's for changing them. Then the left again, back up to that, up at the very top here. You'll notice the temp, hang on a second, NI, that's for nickel mode. When you have their nickel heads, or TI for titanium. Okay, so I'll select that. I guess I didn't have to go out of it. I'll go back into selecting mode. I'll jog down to the power, and it's from 30 all the way up to 60 watt. You notice it speeds up when you hold it. And you can lock your atomizer. If you notice right beside where it says atomizer, I'll try and let that focus. See the little lock symbol? You can lock your resistance in or unlock, because it won't relock because I don't have one on there right now. So when you find if you're using a tank, come on, get out of there, cat. You find when you're using a tank, this is where I'm finding the biggest benefit of temperature control, is you're limited to your pull time on the trigger or on the button. If you're too long, you end up with a really burnt tasting dry hit because you've vaporized all your juice out of the cotton, and that's how that happens. Doesn't happen in temperature control. There's a few odd things about it. I wouldn't say it's anything alarming. Overall, the device, I love it. It's really comfortable, feels really smooth. They've used a high quality automotive grade paint, and I swear quite a few layers of clear coat on that, anticipating scratches and whatnot. This is the Ego Mega 1 tank that comes with it. And right now I have the effing awesome e-juice in there. I do believe Jasmine, and I'll cover her when I explain the juices a little bit more. I've got my airflow. I've got a really nice easy turning airflow adjusting valve here. It's a little slide ring. I always have mine full open. Make sure that I'm in nickel mode because I have the nickel head in there right now, the nickel coil. I've got that 55 watts, 570 degrees Fahrenheit. Really smooth, really full flavor. I'm going to dial it down to 550. I love it. It's a little weak compared to some of the other tanks you can use. You're going to switch the tank. And yes, this comes as the kit. Normally, one of the biggest drawbacks is when you're going out to buy a mod is you got to pay for the mod, then you got to get a decent tank. these are decent tanks, and I recommend you get the CLR heads with it as well. It comes with a nickel head and a titanium head for each nickel and titanium mode. But if you get the CLR heads, you can rebuild those and put titanium or nickel wire in them and have those at a lower ohm or your preferred ohm, sub-ohm, for using temperature control mode. I can't wait to do that. I'd love to get my hands on some titanium wire and just try building my first titanium coil. I've only ever built 2 coils in my life so far. Oh, sorry, 3. And they're pretty basic. I'm not fancy on the Claptons and all that like some of the other people out there are. And yeah, I just realized what I did there. Put it back on. So, when I bought this, because I've seen some reviews and everybody's suggesting always just have a good tank or a good RDA. So I went out and I got a rebuildable tank. The Kanger Tech Sub-Tank Plus, 7 milliliters. It's got really, really nice airflow on it. And right now I have the rebuildable head inside it. We'll go back over to regular power mode. Yeah, hang on, bear with me here. It's a little too high a wattage for me, for most, so I'm going down to about 25.5. And that's at 0.5 ohm. So there you have it. This is the ultimate machine. Mind you, I haven't had as many box mods or devices as other people. Just getting into this, I would like to put it up against an E-Leaf, IPv4, IPv4. You know, kind of a review comparison. Because I honestly think this here could be, you know, the game changer. It's got the great power mode in it. It's got the titanium, nickel temperature control modes. And I really honestly haven't found anything that I'm not happy with about it. Oh, 5,000 milliamp hour battery. Yeah, so it says, some people say mAh. It's milliamp hours. That is going, as soon as you get the battery life programmed into it, in other words, completely discharging it and completely recharging it, probably I'm guessing 4 or 5 times, that should stretch out to over a couple of days. But right now, I'm only getting the main course of the day. I'm also vaping a lot. 30 milliliters in 4 days. But this is not where I started. I started with this one. It's called an HD Vape. It comes in a little package like this, and it's the pen style with a little button on the side, not adjustable. You use it till it's dead, you recharge it, go again. This was the tank for it. I do believe they call it a clearomizer or glassomizer. Works on the same principle. It's got these, hang on. I just did that, yeah. Can you believe that? It's got these wicks, if you can see them in the sides. They hang down in the juice and they wick it up into the coil, which sits in the middle. The coil has its continuity through the connector in the bottom. And this is for my friends who don't know anything about vaping yet but are very curious. This is what you call a 510 connection. Pretty standard for vape units. It just threads on, ever so simple. Just snug it up. It's beautiful. So that kind of covers my devices for now. The HD Vape, the problem is with those is they're low power, they're low watt. They're not going to give you as much flavor and as much vapor as some of these bigger rigs or more fancy rigs. This was sent to me by a friend who's paying it forward, and the MVP I'm talking about here, this was sent to me from Wisconsin, and I tell you, it's one of the things that helped me cut down a lot. It was a step up from what I started with, and definitely this is a step up from the MVP, the evic-vt. Well worth whatever you're going to pay for, so long as it's not over 120, I'd say. Taxes, gotta love taxes. So into the juices a little bit. One of my first loves was by a company called Dark Side Creations. They're a Canadian company. And it's Curly's Custard. Dark Side Creations. Really, really, really good. As you can see, it's bone dry. Wabbit Season. Again, Dark Side Creations. And no, I don't have a slur or speech impediment. That's just what it's called. Wabbit Seasons. Like Elmer Fudd. And G Money. Really, really good. Highly recommend you try some. And I will eventually be doing a very thorough review on all my juices, especially these guys. Fucking awesome. Sydney and Jasmine. She's like a strawberry cream, and she's like a banana strawberry. Really, really, really good. I just can't get enough of them. So there you have it. That's my bit of a review for now. I'm going to get into more of the different heads you can get. And in case you're wondering, this little wheel here, I built myself. It's a little turntable, so I can actually screw the connections down in. They can stand, stay, I can work with it. Works good. And this here, for you Ego pen style e-smoke users, don't buy more of the standard tanks to go on them. This is the Aspire K1. It's got a bit of a lower resistance coil in it, which is going to give you more flavor and vapor. And they're replaceable coils as well. You can go and buy a 5-pack of them. I've been through them all, and I'm taking it easy on it because that's my last one for now, and I won't have money for a bit. But I've got my juice to last me until I need to buy some more, until I have money to buy more. And I really highly recommend the evic-vt by Joytech. Go down to, if you're in St. Thomas, Railway City Vapes on the corner of Talbot and Elgin is where I bought mine. It's also where I bought my Kangertech Subtank Plus. And quit smoking. Get vaping. It's no good. You're adding carcinogens to your body. This is the same stuff people told me for years while I was still smoking. Now I'm telling it to you guys. You know why? Because it's true. You deliver just the nicotine. You don't need to have the formaldehyde, the carbon monoxide, all those extra things that are just taking the years off your life. I do feel better. I'm in the coughing stuff up phase still, but I feel tons better. I can breathe again. Just wait. It gets better even still in time. So I hope you enjoyed my quick little review today. I plan on doing an independent, thorough review of each product I get, and I will be going over this quite a bit more thoroughly, and the MVP, and the different RDAs, tanks, and RBAs, all that kind of stuff. Is that RBA or RTA? I'm still new, so bear with me. So share the video with your friends. Watch it over and over again. If you have any questions about vaping and you want to get into it, but you don't want to walk into it sounding like somebody who doesn't know what they're talking about, come talk to me. I always sound like I don't know what I'm talking about. But by the end of the day, I know what the heck I'm doing because I research, I look, I listen, I try and learn as much as I can. So I'm as informed as I can and help you guys become even more informed than I could become, if that made sense. So like, share, enjoy. Don't forget to click like. I just said that like 3 times. So click it 3 times if you can. Comment below if you have any questions. Thank you very much, and as always, have a great day.